All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. As part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular the AWD1100 C programming language, or C# programming language fundamentals class, I am creating a series of video presentations based on the book used for the class, all right, which is Muroc C# 2015. Now, there's 26 chapters in the book, and I'm going through the PowerPoints for every chapter. So far, I've done lectures on chapters 1 through 6, and in addition, I'm also, not for every chapter, but for most every chapter, creating 2 iterations of a payroll program that I'm doing from scratch. One iteration is a GUIized program, like you see right here. The other one is a non-GUIized program. Now, and this is unfortunate in my humble opinion, but I'm going to look one more time. But to my knowledge, the program that I created for Chapter 4 is no longer on the system. Now, it's possible that it is, but I'm looking here, and I know what it looks like. And I do not see it in my mess right here. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to come in and I'm going to grab the one from Chapter 4 right now that's called Chapter 4, but it doesn't have any at all error checking code in it. I'm going to make a copy of this and paste, and I'm going to change the name of this to Payroll Console Chapter 5. All right. And I'm going to bring that one up, and through one or more lectures right now, what I'm going to do is to create this or recreate this as a console program with error checking in it. So here it is, coming up. So, like I said, notice it has basically no error checking in it whatsoever. So let's talk about how many ways we could blow this program up or get data we don't want to get. So we could come in here, and we can now leave, we can leave the first name. Well, I guess we do have that. Okay, so that can't be blank, so that's good. Maybe this is the one that's working. All right. Okay, well, that's good. So let's check. Let's put a -4. Oh, great. This is the one that has the checks in it. Good. All right. All right. That's great. 20. Okay, good. Now, it says to exit program to continue, hit any other key. But notice what happens. Okay, I do have to put in something here and here, but if I leave this blank, what's going to happen? Thinks about it, thinks about it, thinks about it. It's not doing anything. It's waiting for something to be entered. So I'll put in hello. And it's not taking anything because it's stuck right now. It was giving me an error that said I had the wrong type of data. It's as though I came in here and said, Jeff, Scott, now I'm going to put in here hello. And the program blows up. The string was not in a correct format. And what it is telling me is, with that exception, it's saying, hey, it was expecting a number, and I put in something that was non-numeric. And it's funny, I'm looking right here, input values, and exit program, sorry. Input values, and I'm confused, which happens often. But the reason I'm telling you that is that when I ran this, and it looks like I'm going to literally quit that program. So if you look right here, I don't see any error handling code, although it's doing error handling. So let's save all. Let's run this. Leave that empty, and we get that. Okay, that's what I want to have happen, but I'm trying to figure out why that's happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a breakpoint right here. All right. Why? Well, I'm going to run the program, and the program stopped right there. All right, which is strange. Oh, it's on a blank line, so I shouldn't have done that. Let's get that out of here. No, it is not on a blank line. I want to put it on where I'm doing this read line right here. But I hope when I run it, it doesn't stop again. It is. All right. So I'm looking here. I'm trying to figure out where it's getting the... I wrote the code. I wrote the code to do the error checking, but I don't see the code for the error checking. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause, and I will come back in just a couple minutes. All right, that didn't take very long. You'll notice here that we have, when we call input values from here, notice what it does. It does call the first name, then it says while there's nothing in it. Okay? What I want to get across to you right here is the fact that looking at this, when we did this previously for our GUI program, all right, we used an if statement, and we said if it was not numeric, do your thing and get out. Else, we know that it was numeric, so again, if it was out of range, do your thing and get out. But if you got down to this point right here, not only was it a number, but it was a number for the hours worked that was between the minimum of 0 and the maximum of 84. And this was our check. This was our check right here for numeric or not. So right now, this is fine. This is fine. Both of them are great. This needs some work. Why? Because if you already saw that if I put a non-numeric value in here, it doesn't take it. So really, I should not be doing this. I shouldn't say, please enter hours worked. All right? I should do it more like we've got it in here. Now, again, another difference between a GUI and a non-GUI program, I can put anything in the world I want in a text box. All right? Click a button and check it. But, I mean, I could wait for 10 minutes and then check it. On the other hand, if I put something in on a console app and I hit enter, boom, it's going to be reacted upon right away. All right? So, I want to grab this now. I'm going to just grab this routine. You'll see why, hopefully, in just a moment. So I'm going to say copy. And I'm going to come back to my console app here. All right? And after I've got all this stuff, I'm just going to put it down here. I won't get an error. Okay, it's totally fine. I've got this new thing called isNumeric. Now, yeah, that's fine. There are other programming languages that have an isNumeric function built into them. All right? C# is not one of those languages, so you write your own. All right, that's it right here. So I'm going to change this not only do I want to check for this stuff, all right, but I want to come in here and I want to change this. So please enter hours worked. All right. Instead of saying hours worked equals convert to decimal, all right, rather than doing that, I'm going to come in here and say, please enter hours worked. Now I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to create a temporary variable that I'm just going to call in here HSTR. String, we'll call it temp, equals nothing. Okay, why? Why am I doing that? Because I'm going to change this so it now says temp equals read line. So instead of putting the value into here, as I had been doing, instead of doing that, I'm putting it into temp. Why? Well, in here, remember I did this thing where I said if it's not numeric. So I'm going to grab this. It's going to give me an error. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it right away. All right, so if is not numeric temp. All right, if is not numeric temp. Now it says it's giving me an error because I got to do something with this. All right, so if it's not numeric temp, what doesn't it like? An object reference is necessary for this. So this particular routine has to say static because it's dealing directly with main. That should have gotten rid of the error message there, and it's gone. All right. So please enter hours worked. We put it in. Okay. Now what if we put it in? What if it fails? So if it's not numeric, we want to do it again. The problem is when we do this. All right, the problem is when we do this, okay, it's possible when we tell them to do that again that they put in a value that's out of range. It's out of whack. All right, so please enter hours worked. And, you know, it's kind of nice to put in something like this to let the user know what the range is. All right, it's even possible to grab those values right from the constants. I'll go over that at another time. Right now, what will happen is that's fine, but what if I come through here and I do this, and now I put a bad value in again? So this actually has to be a while. Okay. Now that's all fine. Now I could put the number in here. Now I come down and I have to check to make sure it's within range. What if it's not within range? We ask you to do it again. The problem is, what if I leave that blank? I've already done the check up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of massage this in. You'll see what I mean hopefully in just a second. I'm going to grab this line right here that actually sets the hours worked. And I'm going to bring it down to here. And if you say, why? Oops, didn't work. But okay, like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of combine this code together. And I'm going to say this. While not is numeric temp, or so I know if I get down there, there is a number in there. Okay? So I'm going to do a convert to decimal on temp. Put this over 2 lines. I want you to be able to see everything, hopefully, that's going on here. So this says while the value I put in is numeric, or it's less than 0, or it's greater than 84. Now really I probably am doing some over parenthesizing here. I think it'll work fine just like this and like this. Oh, I do need one more. So while any of these things are true, now we're saying must be between 0 and 84, illegal hours worked, and we're asking them to do it again. But when we ask them to do it again, now it's going to be temp equals read line. All right. We no longer need this. Oh, or do we? Let's see. We no longer need this. You have to play computer with me. Please indulge me. So input hours worked. We ask you to input a value between 0 and 84. It's possible you put in something non-numeric. So if you put in something that's non-numeric, or if what you put in is less than 0, or if what you put in is greater than 84, we're going to give you an error message and ask you to do it again. So now, by the time we get down to here, now hours worked equals convert to decimal of temp. And we have to do virtually the same thing with hourly rate. So let me copy this. In fact, let me just copy the whole shooting match here up to right there. All right. And I think it'll be to about right there. So input hourly rate. All right, please enter hourly rate. And that was between 0 and 250. Probably getting nuts on my time. I am. Let me make these changes, and after we make these changes, I'll come back with one more lesson here, and I'll finish this up. So that's min hourly rate. That's max hourly rate. That's hourly rate. Must be between 0 and 250. The message becomes illegal hourly rate. Please enter a valid hourly rate. And hourly rate. Then we can call calculate gross pay. Now I'm not even going to run it right now. I'm going to save and come back momentarily. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the next iteration for this for Chapter 5. And I'll be back in just a couple minutes.